Hey guys, welcome back to the MJ Gooner podcast right here for the post-match review. Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 4, and what a great week to start, especially knowing Man City lost and also Manchester United lost as well, which adding a little bit of joy into the weekend. And of course, it would be nice if the game between Spurs and Liverpool drew, but honestly, I would have to say Liverpool was robbed through that Luis Diaz goal. I think in any way, from every angle, it is a clear onside, and I have no clue why VAR didn't intervene. Of course, PGMOL did send out an apology, but their apology doesn't do shit at all. I'm being honest, but what they can do? What can they do at the moment, right? It happened to Arsenal last season with the Brentford game at home, not checking the line on Northgard, I believe so, and it cost us that match as well. Even though it's not because of that match cost us the whole season, but still, the inconsistency of the referee and the usage of VAR just kind of, tearing the league apart, tearing football apart in general. So yeah, pretty much my condolences to all the Liverpool fan. They should have probably get a point out of it, having 2 red cards already. I didn't quite watch the match in general. I think I watched the first 25 minutes, but that was about it. And yeah, so let's talk about the game. A very good week for Arsenal, traveling away to the Fatality Stadium at the Cherries, and we beat them 4-0. Not the most exciting match, but a very emotional one as well, especially for the one and only Kai Havertz. He had been quite struggling with, I wouldn't necessarily say the adaptation to Arsenal, but I think he's still kind of having some sort of a PTSD from Chelsea, the treatment from Chelsea, and still carry a little bit of over to another part of London. And he's getting a bit of a stake. I saw some fans, wanted him out. No idea why we signed him for $65 million. For myself, I don't know why he cost $65 million, right? Certainly the money is not ours to spend, but it's Arsenal to spend. And Arteta, for the past 3 years, there's much more trust, being built right now at the moment on Mikel Arteta. So, whoever Mikel Arteta signed, at the end of the day, we have to back him. Kai Havertz was only an Arsenal player for the past 2-3 months. And even though he might have a difficult start of the season, but we still have to stick behind him no matter what. And honestly, I think this game he did pretty good in general. Should have done better. Maybe should have a goal or two at times, but at the end of the day, he got that goal. It's all that matters. So let's talk about the build-up to the game. Yesterday, the video I talked about, I think it was the Brentford game, the post-match review. We talk about Saliba, Declan Rice, and also Bukayo Saka are seemingly, they look like they're going to be featured in the team, or they did travel to Bournemouth to play. It turns out all 3 of them are fit for the game as well, alongside with Vieira and also Trossard. Both of them are on the bench. And of course, we don't know the extent of what happened to Vieira. I think the last game he should have probably been featured, but it's fine. At least all those 5 players who were absent from the last game are back into the lineup, which is a very good thing, a very positive thing. It definitely to a boost to the team, especially playing against Man City away, or actually Man City at home next week. And hopefully, if we beat Man City next week, we are going to go 2 points ahead of them. Not necessarily going to be the first place, but we still have Spurs playing next week. So let's talk about the game in general. I think the majority of the game, or at least the first half of the game, I don't think we controlled the game very well. Not much possession of the ball. I feel like Bournemouth high pressing was relatively very impressive. made us, lose possession a couple of times, especially on the left hand side. I realized we kind of attacking, like right now we were kind of leaning towards the left hand side to attack. I'm not sure it's because of the injury issue of Bukayo Saka. That's why we're kind of shifting every focus to the left hand side. You guys can probably see that on TV as well. And a few counter presses from Bournemouth, and I don't think we controlled the game very well compared to the Crystal Palace game. I don't think we're nowhere near to the game against Crystal Palace, where we have just total domination. I believe 70 plus possession, 70% plus possession rate in both first and second half. But in this game, I don't think possession-wise we did good, but we did well enough to seal it out a win. Pretty much the first chance coming in was from, I believe it was from Kai Havertz. I believe it was a deflection. He was going for a goal, looking for Eddie at the same time, but it was deflected. And later on, a cross from Odegaard to the far post. Jesus with a good header hitting the post, and it bounces right back at where Bukayo Saka is, and he was free, and he scored the first goal. And that goal he scored reminded me of one of my last high school or secondary school goals I've scored for the club or for my team or for my school. Actually, it was a simple tap in like that. The keeper wasn't even there. Same as that situation. Saka had, a little time to react and only a little space to react to the goal as well by just kind of like heads that. I think he headed to the floor, make sure that Neto do not get a second touch to it. And we scored the first goal, 1-0. I believe in the 20th something minute. We scored a goal relatively early. I think so. Well, definitely in the first half for sure. Let me have a look again. I think we score in the 17th minute. Later on, Kai Havertz picked up a yellow card, which I thought it was a joke. I think the whole game I've been quite disappointed with the refereeing today. I don't think there are any bookings against Bournemouth. I felt like there are a few challenges where Bournemouth players could have gotten themselves a yellow card, at least a couple of them, but did not happen. I believe it was, I think there was a challenge on Bukayo Saka with studs up to the ankle. That should have been a yellow card. And there's another one on Kai Havertz, I believe so, if not Gabriel Jesus, which, again, it shows how incompetent our referees are in England and certainly ruined the game. It already did on the other hand, but thank God today we don't need to rely on those decision to win games, and that's pretty much what we want. That's pretty much what all the teams want, is to win the game without having VAR involved with anything. If you somehow convincingly win a game by 2 goals, 3 goals without any of those intervention, then of course that would be the best. But there are times where, you need a bit of a help of the VAR call. And certainly a few teams here and there got a few, same as Arsenal's before, getting a VAR call just to win games. It happened. But like I said, I do not like to rely on VAR to win games. So the second goal was coming from Martin Odegaard. It was a penalty. It was a very good play by Eddie Nketiah, driven down the left-hand side, playing with a 1-2 ball with Zinchenko. You can actually hear Mikel Arteta was screaming to Eddie, give it inside, and Zinchenko was actually right there. A perfect 1-2 play. Tavernier, I believe so, or was it Max Aaron? I think it was Tavernier. Took Eddie down. I thought it looks like he got the ball first, but when you look closely to the replay, it was indeed no contact to the ball, barely any contact to the ball, but mainly on Eddie Nketiah. And Eddie got himself, technically an assist, but it's not quite of an assist, isn't it? But yeah, it was a very good play by Eddie and also good pass from Zinchenko creating that chance. And Martin Odegaard was going to take that penalty. And I felt like from now on, we kind of know the pattern in terms of who's taking the penalty. Of course, Saka will be the main player, be taking the penalty at home especially. And with the absence of Odegaard, and Saka will be taking, the penalty across all competition. But in this case, away from home, you need a little bit of a pressure calmer. For example, Odegaard scored. He scored, previously scored a penalty against Crystal Palace. And that was the only goal we scored. A very nice penalty to the bottom left corner. And this time Odegaard, very calm finish as well. That little step over, that little, how do you call it? That little stop, that little shuffle, before taking the shot was just a beauty. Neto went for the wrong way, and Odegaard buries that one in as well. 2-0 going to the second half. 2-0 already. It feels like we are, feeling more confident, but I feel like we can probably score a few more goals. Of course, this is not the most convincing win ever. Not the most brilliant display. I mean, for my definition of a brilliant display or a convincing win is pretty much relying without any set pieces, blah, 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 here and there. But 49 minutes in, I believe it was Ryan Christie took a shot on goal to David Raya, who positioned himself brilliantly, make that save. Not much of a challenge today for David Raya, but I felt like his distribution game is still a little bit lacking. I think he, at times, I felt like he was being a little bit too ambitious at some point. But you know what? Other than that, he looks fine to me today. And I was a little bit surprised not seeing him starting, given that Ramsdale actually played pretty well. And later on, third goal coming on was from Odegaard won the penalty. It was a stupid challenge from, I believe it was from Ryan Christie. Just took down Odegaard from behind. And how was that not a booking? I'm not sure. Because when you look at that replay again, I know he was going for the ball, but the fact that when he slid in, he didn't get the ball. He only got the ball right after, but that's about it. Odegaard was down. Thank God he wasn't injured, and this is another big debate. Who was going to take the penalty? Apparently, I just saw it on Twitter. Gabriel Jesus seemingly was the one to take the penalty. But guess what? I kind of thought about it before the game. I was like, what happened if we are, a few goals up? Will you put Kai Havertz at penalty? But that was a shift. That was a swift thought that I had. But turns out it happened. Odegaard, I think Odegaard convinced Jesus to give it to Kai Havertz, especially he was having a tough start. If he didn't score that penalty, 8 league games in, I believe he hasn't scored a goal or an assist. And we give the ball to Kai Havertz, and that little shimmy, that little shuffle as well, same as Odegaard, buries that one into bottom left corner, pretty much where Odegaard went. And guess what? Kai Havertz scores finally after 8 games, or I think 10, 11 games across all competitions, finally scoring the first goal for the club. I'm very happy for him. A very emotional one as well. The fact that everybody got behind him and celebrated with him, especially Big Gabby, went up to him, congratulate him, and everybody just kind of huddling everybody together. And it's just a real moment, just a very wholesome moment for the team. When you see, and this is something that, you love to see in a team, regardless of how we bottled it last season. But the fact that we have that type of, leadership, we take in terms of leadership, we support each other no matter how bad times are. When we compare, this scenario to Alexis Sanchez a few years ago, when he scored his last 2 goals for Arsenal against Crystal Palace, he pretty much celebrated, separately compared to other teammates. There's certainly a little bit of a separation within the team, but I can honestly tell you, since last season, this group has changed significantly, and it is a good group, to have. And right now, to all the young players wanting to join Arsenal, they should look at that clip and see, no matter how tough the situation can be, the team's going to back you up no matter what. And even Arteta said in the post-match conference, saying that he didn't know that Kai Havertz going to be the one taking the penalty at all costs, but you know what, he did, scoring his first goal, and then all of a sudden you can hear the very similar tune to the song, Waka Waka eh, 65 million down the drain, Kai Havertz scores again. Wow, Sakura song, I forgot the name of the song, but you gotta love that. This, again, the song reminds me of, Saliba chant, Saliba songs. After Saliba scoring that goal, everybody was singing out of nowhere. I don't think anybody knew the lyrics before until they heard it in the stadium. And I believe right now, Kai Havertz, his confidence certainly going to boost from this game. Hopefully, he is going to do more good stuff for us, adding more goals into his tally, more assists to help the team. 3-0 already. A very convincing way already. I mean, we made 2 substitutions. Reece Nelson coming on, I believe so, and also Tomiyasu coming on. Later on, Declan Rice was being subbed out. Jorginho was being subbed out. And there's one thing I was really frustrated was that we were 3-0 up with 25 minutes to go. Bukayo Saka was limping, picked up a knock. I don't know, was it because of the previous challenge? I think it was like Kaisa, the left back from Bournemouth, stepped on his ankle. And Bukayo Saka was limping for a good 5 minutes and could barely walk. And I mean, the fact that we scored the third goal, from the third goal to the change of Bukayo Saka, I felt like it was a little bit too late. Same as the last game against Spurs. Bukayo Saka was pretty much limping in the last 10-15 minutes, playing as a right back, asking to sub off, and by the time when Arteta put Smith Rowe in, it's a bit too late. And same as this situation, I know we still have 20 to 25 more minutes to play. But the fact that our star boy, the most important player of the team, picked up an injury, like you knew it. Like you knew you were winning 3-0. Why not, after scoring the third goal, replace Bukayo Saka with Smith Rowe? Just get it over with, You don't need to demand more from Bukayo Saka right now. You just need to reserve him. And this is another poor management that Arteta still needs to learn. And it's still quite frustrating because I felt like there are a couple of times where, poor substitutions potentially cost us game. I thought the game against Spurs was pretty much the same impact. A late substitution potentially cost the game. I'm not saying that we're going to win that game, but you would rather have 100% Smith Rowe than a 50% Saka. And I thought this game, it was a little bit too late for Mikel Arteta to sub him off. And hopefully we're going to get some good words from him very soon for Bukayo. Smith Rowe coming on and Vieira coming on the right-hand side. That's about it, pretty much so. Jorginho coming on as well. And I think we play some brilliant football, I think. Vieira, his 2 passes to Jesus was amazing. And at one point, I thought Jesus hurt himself again. Hopefully, he didn't. But Vieira, I think I just think that he suits way better on the right-hand side compared to the left-hand side. I'm not saying that playing as a left 8 for him didn't work out, but playing on the right-hand side, regardless as the attacking number 10 or the right wing area, I just think that Vieira is such a great threat to the final third against the opponent. And Smith Rowe got, a few opportunities for himself. It was just, a shame that he didn't score a goal. Of course, the first one coming from Jesus, nicking it off from the Bournemouth defenders. I thought we were going to score from that play because we were pretty much pushing against, counter-pressing against Bournemouth. He was pulled back by Senesi. And again, that didn't, even though it was played on, but it wasn't a card at all. It wasn't booking at all. And I believe Reece Nelson got the ball, toe poke it, between the legs of Sabanye and Emil Smith-Rowe. Could have buried that one in, but I'm sure it was a good touch by Neto. But I felt like the ball would have, gone out for a goal kick anyway. And there's a second one, similar display from left to center. Jesus set it off to Smith-Rowe, a very powerful shot, but pretty much a very comfortable height for to Neto. And it's such a shame, to be honest. I felt like this is the game where I felt Smith-Rowe could probably get a goal, and those two chances, come pretty close. And of course, the last goal we scored in the last 3-4 minutes, Ben White scoring a header, an assist from Odegaard was a good header. And again, the VAR just kind of ruined the whole moment again. Looking at the legs who stood out as a trailing leg, it wasn't even Ben White, it was Tomiyasu. Even though we got the goal in the end, but the fact that it was so unnecessary at times. I mean, this is one of the goals where I felt like, we just kind of put in a position where we just can't, celebrate at all. You just got to be in hold back and wait for the VAR decision. That took away the fun of football or the game in general. And we won this game 4-0, and we were second for a good hour and a half until Liverpool lost to Spurs. So right now, top 3 or top 4 teams are Man City, 18 points. Spurs and Arsenal sharing at 17 points, second and third. And also Liverpool sitting at 4th right now. We're 1 point away from Man City. Hopefully the next game against them in the Premier League, we're going to win. Hopefully we're going to beat them. They don't have Rodri. And I felt like without Rodri, it looks like they look very shaky in the middle and at the back as well. And our next game across all competition is the game against, I believe it was Lens, RC Lens. It's a French team. Traveling away on Tuesday. I don't think I'll be watching that game. I'll be having work that day. So unfortunately couldn't do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully grabbing another win in the in the Champions League. Rotating a few players here and there, trying to rest them up for the City game. Hopefully Martinelli will be back. Trossard will be back, even though he's on the bench today, but I hope he can play in the next game. And Thomas Partey is rumored to be back against Man City, but I doubt it at this moment. But we will have to see. So thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoy another podcast from me. Do all the good stuff to this channel, and I'll see you guys in a bit.